I think there is, logically, if you look at the situation, the separatists are holding the city, the Ukrainian army is trying to retake the city. So logically, I think that there is an assumption that rockets, artillery shells that fall within the city come from the Ukrainian army. The Ukrainian government is claiming that these are rebels firing into their own areas. There might be cases of that, but in most of the cases we looked at, the evidence pointed to the Ukrainian army. For example, we know that the central market in Luhansk, it was hit by a shell that burned down the half of the market and killed 4 people. Right next to the central market is the headquarters of the separatists, which is a strong indication that that might have been the target of the Ukrainian army. And in this particular attack, they just missed and hit the central market instead.
And the vast numbers of refugees, internal and those leaving Ukraine, Ole?
Well, there are vast numbers, and what we're seeing more and more are coming out. And, you know, we've spoken to many of them. They do cite the difficult humanitarian situation in Luhansk in particular. But most of them said that the determining factor for them, the trigger point, if you will, was the increased shelling in their neighborhoods. Many of the people we spoke to could cite several examples in their neighborhoods or in their streets where shells had fallen, hit houses, burned down houses, or killed civilians. So this is really, you know, one of the main driving factors that are driving people out of these cities and into Ukraine or into Russia.
Ambassador Matlock, what do you think should be the approach? President Obama will be giving a major speech today where he is in Estonia. The NATO summit is taking place in Wales. What do you think should happen? What do you think would solve this crisis in Ukraine?
Well, I hope that the diplomatic efforts, the quiet diplomatic efforts, are going to start bearing some fruit. It does seem to me that a lot of the public rhetoric doesn't help, and the accusations back and forth, no matter how accurate. I think President Obama recently has been much more restrained than some of the other spokespersons, so I don't want to be focusing entirely on that, except that we have to understand the Russian attitude, which is that what they're doing is defending from Western interference. Therefore, anything that seems to challenge that simply stimulates, you might say, the opposite reaction from Russia. It is a tragic situation, particularly for the people directly involved. No question about that. It's only going to be solved, I think, by negotiations where both the Russians and the Ukrainian government is reasonable in what they demand of the other and what they agree upon. There's going to have to be a settlement there between the two. That's where it has to be. And I think outsiders need to be a little careful that they don't seem to stimulate one side or the other to be more rigid than they should be.